which is a good thing. I mean, you know, that you're still here, I'm still here. So that's a good thing. You've been meeting Friday mornings at 9, what, for 7 years, John?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, that's an amazing constancy of purpose in Dr. Deming's terms. Hardly any organization who's tried to do what you're doing has been able to do it for 7 years. That's good news. The bad news is you need to do it for about 700 more. Okay, this is like breathing. Don't forget to breathe. This is, you start to asphyxiate yourself if you stop this. So it goes on forever. And that sounds sort of awful, but wait a minute, what you've been doing is learning how to work together on your work. Okay, in most organizations, work is an individual thing, whatever you might say about teamwork, and you as a worker just work your way around the fact that the work doesn't work. So this is different, new, difficult, and it goes on forever. Now, I'm an outsider, so let me just make my outsider contribution. You are what I would call positive deviants. Okay, in life in general, read the newspaper this morning, it's all about negative deviants, criminal behavior, wars, and so forth. We read less about positive deviants. Positive deviance is a good thing. It's what makes civilization possible. So you are positive deviants because living here and coming to this room every Friday after a while, this starts to seem normal, ho-hum. And it's no-ha rather than aha, right? But if you live out in a bigger world, and that's not good or bad, I just don't belong anywhere, so I just keep walking around. What you see is this is very, very unusual, and this is a good thing. So you need to know that. You're weird. Okay? You are positively weird. Okay? And by the way, if every one of these events and every day here isn't difficult for a good reason, which is to say you're actually defining problems and you're actually running experiments, and that is hard. If every day isn't difficult, you aren't truly doing your work. You're working around your work. So, and by the way, workarounds are always easier in the short term of the moment. I'll just work around. And then you get to the end of that and you've got a mess. So therefore, congratulations for being positive deviants. Every time I've come, you spread this a little bit further. But just the initial coding of thinking about work is still, you're trying to get all the way across theta care. And then those of you who led the way have got to keep going. And that's the second part of the report from the outside world. I think of your industry, and I hate to call it an industry, but it is an industry. It has cost and revenues, it has customers, that is an industry. The whole industry is a gargantuan General Motors. The whole industry is a gargantuan General Motors with no Honda or Toyota or whatever, except you guys are trying to be. And the way things stand, things are now going to get a lot worse. I was down in the secret room downtown yesterday looking at the secret metrics. Are they secret? I don't know. But the one that no one actually likes to talk about really is financial sustainability. Everybody likes to talk about quality and customer and patient and staff satisfaction. The one you're going to have to think about is financial sustainability. This gets worse. Okay, the government's broke, country's broke, healthcare is broke in a different sense of you don't get good value for the cost being put in. So therefore, you're going to have to work harder, not less hard. I was driving in this morning, this is the kind of thing I guess you shouldn't say, but we went past Affinity, and I said, well, there's your revenue growth. We stopped at the light so I could take a good look. I said, whoa, this, as things get worse, you all should be in the lead with a better value proposition for your community. Well, that's how you sustain yourselves in terms of work as things get worse and things get harder. So this is not, if you ever thought it was a game, it is not a game. What you're talking about here is your survival, okay, your job and your community. Are you going to have, and here's the choice we have in this country, are you going to have lower wages and longer hours to provide worse health care? And that's choice number one. Lower wages, longer hours, no jobs maybe, to provide worse health care. are you going to be able to sustain? Let's not just dream here. We're not all going to get rich. You can sustain what you got while doing a better job for the patient, and therefore the patient with their revenue comes to you. Okay? So that's where we are. So, delighted with what I've seen here in my 4 visits. I love coming out here. I'd like to come back next time and talk about your long value streams, because that's the next leap, is to talk about the whole oncology value stream. Right now you're talking about within a cell or within a department, a little bit between departments. The next thing is to link it all end to end. And that's a big, big report out on that. You have to have all the high-priced help up here to talk about that. So, we want to come back. Very happy that you are still positive deviants. You've had the fun of being first and of going for the low-hanging fruit. And now you have to talk about the harder things, which in particular is financial sustainability. And don't mean to sound mercenary about this, but what's coming, the good guys are going to be rewarded in the end. And the folks who just can't get with the program are going to shrink and disappear. So is it going to be you, somebody else? You've got the method. You've got the method. You understand the method. You're getting pretty close to teaching it to everybody. And pretty soon, the day of reckoning on all this healthcare stuff, just like for General Motors, is going to come. Just final thing, last night at dinner we were having some fun, and at the table there was some hope that maybe this industry is too big to fail. Okay, this is the Citicorp deal versus the Lehman deal. Remember Lehman, they let collapse, which got everybody so terrified that they bailed everybody else out. Well, the problem with healthcare being too big to fail is that healthcare is, you know, like almost as big as the country. So who's going to bail it out? Since the country's broke, I don't think so. I think things have to fundamentally change. So you've gotten ahead. And by the way, you should be able to stay ahead. You started, you've been at this for years, you ought to be ahead. You need to stay ahead. But this is going to be a very hard time. And you're going to need to absolutely keep your head in the game. This stuff seems sometimes like a fun extra thing. What we just saw this morning, this is your future. So I wish you the best. I expect to keep coming back. Next time, I'm hoping we'll have some bigger end-to-end type things, while we've got more and more of the things you're doing right now. So please keep on keeping on. Good luck. Bye for now.